Recording. Okay, so we are recording. So first things first, I want to show you how we're going to be using Compass in the event that we have a school closure. Now, as I've said to you a few times, I don't think it'll probably happen this term. If I was a betting man, I'd suggest maybe the start of next term they might extend the holidays, but you never know. So it's best to be prepared now. There might not be any closures, but it's looking likely at some stage we'll need to deliver learning from home. So if you've got your computer there, please have it open and be in Compass, and I'll show you our main way of communicating. So if you go through, you know our subject's always there on our calendar, and if you click on it, it brings it to the subject page. Otherwise, you can just get to it through your subject list. It's worth pointing out now that our subject timetable will remain on Compass. We're not going to cancel the classes if there's a closure, and that means that 3 times a week, I'll be sitting at my desk at home, ready to deliver material to you. And ideally, I'd like you to be online at those times to receive it if you can. And I'll be there. And I'll actually be delivering like a YouTube live stream for at least the first 10, 15 minutes or so to give you guys some instructions and explanation of a topic. And then I'll set a task that you can then do independently and upload to keep our learning going. Now, I do understand that you might not always be able to get onto the internet at the same time. If you've got a few family members and only one computer, you might need to take your time. So therefore, those live streams will also be saved to be viewed later. So you'll be able to go to the channel, watch them. And I understand sometimes you might need to go somewhere else to access the internet. So I'm not saying it's 100% compulsory you're there at our lesson times, but if you're there, I'll be here to answer stuff and respond to questions through the text chat on the YouTube channel. So here's an example of what we've got here. Like I've actually put together a lesson. You'll see our lessons each day looking like this. At the moment, I've just put learning intentions up there because I'll be delivering the lesson today. But for lessons that are being done away from home, I'll put more detail in there. You can see today our learning intentions for all students to be familiar with how online learning will be delivered using Compass and YouTube, and learn how to name the key signature for all major keys. That's something we need to do right now. It wasn't quite due in our next lesson, but because this could happen at any stage, I thought we'll go to that right now. So, how are we going to use Compass? A main way that I will get to Compass, deliver lessons through Compass, is by firstly using the news feeds to give general notifications. So if I've got something that I want to say to the whole class about something, that's the place to be going. And you can see right now, I've actually got a YouTube channel test link. So if you've got your computer open, can you jump in there right now? It's just a link to a video I did that said, hi, this is a test. But what it will allow you to do is also then be able to subscribe to my channel. So could you all do that now if you've got your computer here? So.
Oh, sir, you got a nice face.
Thanks. So do you. And if you click into that, it'll take you to that. It's just a test video. It's nothing exciting. As you can see, it'll say hi. Actually, there's no sound on even at the moment, but yeah, that gives you an idea about what it is. But most importantly, I can't do anything, but you'll have the option of going to a little subscribe button, and that way you'll be linked into my channel. All good? Okay, so my plan is for 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long I need to, at the start of each of our lesson times, I'll run a live where I can give you information, update you on stuff we need to learn and focus on. One of the benefits of the YouTube Live is that it has also a live chat window, and so at that stage, if I introduce a topic or explain a concept to you, and you've got any questions, you can ask those questions of me live, and I can respond as I go. Of course, you can then add comments afterwards. So like the video, once it's saved as a video, will be there. If you want to then comment, you still can, and I'll respond. And that'll be a great way to talk about the lessons that we deliver. I'm sure you're all familiar now with the resources tab, which is there. And so again, our ongoing homework links are there, and that will be the majority of the work I set, as well as doing some more detailed tasks that might require you to write something and then send me a photo of it, or type something and send me the file. The majority of the learning that I will still be setting will be through musictheory.net. So like we already do anyway for regular ongoing homework, that will be the way that I'll keep you engaged with a lot of our learning as we go through these concepts. So that's still there. You'll see the ongoing homework link is there. The textbook. Now, you've all got a copy of the textbook. For those of you who are still waiting for theirs on order, I've given you some copies of the next sheets we'll be working on just in the immediate period of time. But it is important to remind you that you do need to buy your textbook. It's not fair on the author if you don't. And so therefore, make sure you do that. But there is a copy there that's PDF'd for you to look at if you need it. It's worth noting I've added a little task here called in case of school closure, use this task. Feel free to click into it. And there's a reason why, don't do it there. Go to learning tasks, Go to learning tasks and click on in case of school closure, use this task. And I've set this up for a good reason. Is one, if you've got any work whatsoever you want to submit to me, if you want to send me some work, send me your oral presentations you're working on, or anything over the time that you want to submit to me that isn't related to a particular homework task, you can use the upload function there just to send it to me. You can upload as many files as you like. So that's a great way for you to send me anything you need me to look at if you want me to give feedback. So this might not be any specific tasks, but it might be just like, oh, I've been working on this exercise. Here's a copy of it. What do you think? Any sort of feedback you want from me on work you've done, you can upload there. And most importantly, it allows us to then also engage in direct conversation through the conversation window. So if you don't want to put general comments up for everyone to see in, say, the YouTube channel live chat, where everyone might see a question, you might have a question that you're a bit embarrassed about asking because you're worried that people might think you don't understand something, whatever. Not that you should. We're all friends here, so you shouldn't be afraid to ask questions. But in case it was a question you thought you might ask privately, this will always be here. Use this task in case of school closure that we can engage in any sort of dialogue if you've got questions for me about stuff. Beyond that, that's sort of how we're going to be running things. So just be ready to be watching the class news feed. I'll link the live links. Every time I do a live, I'll put it into the lesson plan. And as I said, they'll be running at the time that our lessons are due to be scheduled. And if you can, try to be there for them. And that'll be great. Any questions? All good? So that is how I'm going to use Compass. So hopefully it doesn't happen until next term, but in case it happens sooner than that, we're already ready. And it goes without saying, I'd strongly suggest you take your textbooks home and then just bring the ones you need to school each day. And that way, if it gets called quickly overnight one night, you've got everything with you. Excellent. Okay, with that said, we're going to move on to today's topic. Now, up until now, we've done all of our theory in the book in the key of C major. Yeah? And that's been great to learn the basics, but it's not going to take us through to the rest of the course. So, first things first, we're probably familiar with our C major scale because we've done it over and over again. When starting on C, in C major, can you tell me, do we have any sharps or flats? We've got that right now. Here's an example of that scale. It goes up, goes down. You'll notice though, this time, there are some little slur lines here. What does a slur normally mean in music? What does a slur usually mean between notes? Ooh, if it's the same note joined together with a tie, it adds it together. What about if it's two different pitches? How would you normally perform them if there's a slur? You're going to say, as singers you call it dragging, you drag the note, is that what you're saying? Or in music in general, what it means is you play the notes extremely smoothly together, extremely legato or slurred. But in this theoretical context, what they use the slur for is to actually show where the semitones are in the scale. Do we know what a semitone is as opposed to a tone? Oh, don't all be silent. There's a video recording. What everyone's thinking. You're answering lots of questions. Semitone, tone, what's a semitone?
Semitone is one tone higher.
So go for it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's a
One.
No. One.
What are we talking about? What concept are we talking about with semitones? As we're moving from note to note, certain gaps are thirds, fourths, fifths. At the smallest level, we have tones and semitones. Does that help ring a bell?
Isn't that going to cause a running speech?
Big voice there.
Isn't that skipping?
Let's see. What do you reckon C to C sharp might
That's a
be?
semitone.
Ah, very good. Yes. So now I find one out. You know exactly what I mean. So yes, a semitone is where we are going from one note to the very next note. For example, C to C sharp. Remember Michael Jackson said, Don't matter if you're black or white. So don't worry about the colours. If it's the very next note, it's a semitone. Is E to F a semitone? Yes. What about E to F sharp? That's a tone, great. So if it's two semitones, it's a tone. The reason I was saying that is because it's actually the pattern of tones and semitones that makes a scale sound major. For example, here, power's been turned off. Let's try again. There we go. Here's our regular major scale. And it in fact sounds major because of the order of tones and semitones. You can actually see it in the picture here. For example, C major is in all white notes. Yes, so therefore C major is a what? Tone, tone, semitone, tone, tone, tone. Cool. That's actually what I call the DNA of a major scale. It's that pattern of tones and semitones. A perfect example of how it stuffs things up. If I say didn't play that B but play a B flat, that's not major anymore. No. So it's that order of tones and semitones that makes the major scale sound the way it is. Now when we were in year 10 last year, if you did the course, we learned two other scales. What were they? Let's try to find my mouse here. What were the two scales we learned in year 10 in addition to C major? G major and F major. Great. And we learned that those scales required either sharps or flats, otherwise they didn't sound right. So again, I'll repeat what we did last year. If I start on G, but ignore what's put there with the sharp, I'm just going to play it all natural notes. Which note was a bit off? Second last, excellent, Natalia, yeah. If I play that second last note higher, we get that tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone pattern again. Hence why we say G major needs F sharp. So we learned that one. Cool. Just to point it out, you can either write the sharp next to the note, or you can put it at the start as a key signature. Either way, it means that all the Fs in this scale need to be sharp when it's a key signature. Or often you'll see it just as what we call an accidental, written in next to the individual note. And there was one other scale we learned in year 10, and that was F major. So what did we find F major needed? Yeah, flat. That's a flat sign, and it's on the which line? B line. I'm actually going to rewrite it here just next to the note, so it's really clear. And again, if I play that scale without its flat, the fourth note, the B that was wrong. Cool. So, how do we learn the rest? Do you reckon it's easy or hard? Yeah, easy because you trust I've got a method to do it with? Yeah.
Yes.
Good, yes, that's right, because I do. I've got a really simple method to get this worked out. So, firstly, here's all the key signatures that we need to know for major keys in this subject. So we can see, for example, C major has no sharps or flats, G major has one sharp, F sharp, D major has two sharps. What lines and spaces are they on? Yes, F and C. We usually say them from left to right, just as convention goes, so we get used to that. Yep, A major has F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, E major, F, C, G, D, B major, F, C, G, D, D, A, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, C sharp major, F, C, G, D, A, E, B. And the flats, here they are again. F major has B flat, B flat major has, and E flat, got it. B, E, A, B, E, A, D, B, E, A, D, G, and B, E, A, D, G, C, and B, E, A, D, G, C, F. How are you going to remember that? You will. It's easy. Seriously, this is the easiest concept you can learn in Year 11 music, actually, once you've got the pattern knowledge. Firstly, did you notice there's a bit of a pattern going on here? Like G major has F as its first sharp and only sharp. In D major, F, C. Ah, and then A major, it's all of that plus one more. E major is all of that plus one more. B major is all of that plus one more. And F sharp, you're adding one sharp each time. Otherwise, it's the same one. Similar with the flats. F major has B flat. B flat major has B flat and E flat. This next one has both those previous plus one more. That one's the same 3, add one more. That one, it's the same 4, add one more. So you're always adding one more. Now, before I get to the really simple part of this, I'll make it a little bit more confusing, just a little bit. Have you noticed anything about the pattern as we move from scale to scale? There's a pattern there. It'll involve you counting. I'd suggest count the intervals between each pair of scales. What's the relationship from C to G? What's its interval? You're counting out C, D, E, F, G. Count the bottom note. C, D, E, F, G. 5. Yeah, okay. Good. C to G is a fifth. What's the interval between G to D? Fifth. Yeah. Yeah. What about D to A? Fifth. Okay, and take it. Fifth. 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 Each time you go up a fifth, you add a sharp. And similarly, with flats. Now, work down. What's the interval between C to F if you're going C down to F? C, B, go down though, because you went up. If you won't C, D, E, F up, but let's go down. C, B, A, G, F. 5, up, add a flat. What's F to B flat? F, E, D, C, B, 5. So sharps, if you go up a fifth, you add a sharp. And flats, if you go down a fifth, you add a... That's called the circle of fifths, which is a... Now I'm going to really simplify things now. Really simplify. Now I'm just going to check. Can you see what I'm writing here on the video? Yes. Because I'm videoing this so the students who are away can log on later and see it. If you're wondering why I'm looking at my camera every now and then. So let's have a look. There's a little rhyme that I'm going to share with you now, and I'd actually like you to write this in your books. In the margin somewhere we've got some space. And it goes like this. Father, just somewhere in the margin on this page, either on the left or the right, wherever you've got some space in your textbook will be fine, so you can always refer back to it. Father Christmas. Now, sorry, it's got alcohol relation to it. I'm not trying to encourage you to engage in any underage drinking, but this little rhyme helps us remember our sharps. Page 19. Father Christmas gets drunk at every bar. That's a big journey, having to deliver presents, all across the whole planet in like one day. You're going to get thirsty, of course. Of course, that's exactly right. That is the healthy option, absolutely. Now, anyone got any idea what this little rhyme has? This one I've just written. Father Christmas gets drunk at every bar. Anyone notice any relation between that little statement and the... who was that? That was Mia, yeah? What was it? That's the sharps, yeah. So if you have a look here, G major, F, father. F sharp, father. D major, F, C, Father Christmas. F, C, G, father, what was that? Father Christmas gets. For 4 sharps, Father Christmas gets drunk. For 5 sharps, Father Christmas gets drunk at. For 6, what do we have to do? 6 sharps, Father Christmas gets drunk at every. And last but not least, C sharp major. Would you expect C sharp major to be everything sharp? Because if C major is no sharps, and you move the scale up a semitone, C sharp major will be all sharps. Make sense? Yep. So, all sharps. Father Christmas gets drunk at every bar. What we say is, this is the order of sharps. So, you will eventually get very good at just knowing off the top of your head. D major, 2 sharps. We'll play a game actually to help you remember this in a minute. You'll eventually get to know E major, 4 sharps. Just like I know your Hajja and I know your Nara. I know that, I just know. I don't have to go through and memorize the roll and picture it in my mind, do I? I just know after a while. initially I didn't know all your names and I had to think, check a roll, whatever. Once I got to know you, I just know your names off by heart. It's the same with these key signatures. Eventually, if I say B major, you'll all be able to go 5 sharps. And then, what are those 5 sharps? Just go through the rhyme. Father Christmas gets drunk at. Those are the 5 sharps for B major, yeah. Excuse me. Trust me, it's not a dry cough. I don't have coronavirus. So. Now, does anyone notice the flats and their order? Are they related? Is this related in any way to this rhyme? Look closer. The pattern isn't as obvious, but you'll see it soon enough if you have a look.
It goes from down.
God, you're on fire today, Natalia. Yes. So, if you look here, F major had 1 flat, which was B flat, bar. B flat major, B flat, E flat, bar every. And so on. 3 sharps, those 3. And so on. 4 sharps, bar every at drunk. And so on and so forth. Now, you might go, am I going to remember this rhyme in order? Backwards? It's not as easy to remember as Father Christmas gets drunk at every bar. But I can tell you now, the first 4 spell a word, which is, and can I see this in the screen? Yes, I'll see it in the audience out in internet land. I'm getting used to this. Bead. Whoops, try spelling it in the right order. Bead. By the way, we rarely work in more than 4 flats anyway. So, there's your first 4 flat keys already learned. Bead, the word bead, like a little bead on a necklace or on a bracelet. And then the last bit is bead followed by G, C, F. You know GFC is Geelong Football Club? We just say Geelong Club of Football. Yeah, so bead, Geelong Club of Football. It might work, it might not. Now you are probably wondering, how do I still know which one applies to what? Well, I've got a special pattern for you that I'll deliver in a moment. I'll give you a chance to write that down.
So, question. How do you pronounce X, A, X? How would you pronounce it?
Don't know. I don't know. Anyhow, cool. So, what I will actually do now is I'm actually going to turn this screen off so I've got whiteboard to write on. And I'm going to give you the most important diagram I think you'll ever draw in music. And it's really, really easy. Watch carefully. Actually, you know what? I know I said write it in the margin, but there's not a lot of space there. Now, if you've got a textbook, you'll notice there's some blank pages at the back.
There is?
Yep. That's probably a good spot you could write this. Otherwise, just somewhere. Obviously, you're working from a handout because your book's still in order. So you'll just have, maybe use your exercise book there. Now, watching again, just check. Okay. What have I just drawn? Yep, I've done that. Yep, I've done the sharps. Cool. I've also done the order of flats backwards. Think about it that way, yeah. This is the order of sharps. Father Christmas gets drunk at every bar. Bead, Geelong Club Football. Now, there's a reason why I've written this down like this, and I want you to get used to doing this yourself. So if you've got space, you can do this, as I said, in the margin of your textbook, or in your case, you've got like a whole heap of space at the back of your book. You want to do it a bit bigger. There's space there specifically for that. Can I strongly advise if you're working in a textbook to use a pencil? That way you can erase it later and sell your textbook. Sell your textbook at the end of year 12. Okay. What did we say F major was? I'll show you a little pattern here. Actually, you've got, sorry, not F major, G major. What did we say G major was? How many sharps? G major, 1, which was? F sharp. Okay. Where is G in relation to this F? Okay, cool. So, what we can see here is a bit of a pattern emerging. So we know G major has F sharp. What if I told you to work out any key that has sharps? You can actually go through the order of sharps up to the name of the key and then just take away 2. I'll show you what I mean. So we want to work out G major. Let's go. Father Christmas Gets. There's the name of the scale. Get rid of 2. What are we left with? F sharp. Ah. Yeah, now this is where it gets really easy. So what I said to you was like, so here's my little pattern. I'm seeing if you can work it out before I explain it thoroughly. So for example, we wanted to work out G major's key signature. What I'm saying is you could go Father Christmas Gets. Stop at the name of the scale. We want to know what G major's is. To work out what G major has, you just get rid of the last 2. And that leaves you with F. Get rid of G, get rid of C, it leaves you with F. Now you've got the page open where all the keys are. Let's see if it works for anything else. Say for example, what if we wanted to work out A major? Father Christmas Gets drunk at. What if we get rid of then the last 2? 1, 2. What are we left with? How many?
3.
And is that correct? Look at your scale sheet there on the page. Is it A major 3 sharps? Yeah, got it, yeah. Ah, okay, what about B major? So let's go all the way through to B. Take away 2. What are we left with? Father Christmas Gets drunk at. Did B major have 5 sharps in your book? You tell me. It's right in front of you there. Yeah, where the little diagram was. It's on the next page for you, Halia. Yeah. Ah, so what we say is if we're trying to work out the sharp scales, it's actually a simple case of the sharp scales heading in this direction and take away 2. So for any sharp scale, go to the name of the scale and then reverse back 2. So let's do another one. So did we do E major yet? So let's go to E, there's E. So everything from up to E, take away 2. How many sharps are we left? 4. And was that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So sharp keys, it's a simple case of find the name of the scale and take away 2. And everything else before it is the key signature. Cool? Yeah. Told you know all the major scale key signatures by the end of this class, or at least know how to work them out. Now the flats. What did we find out for the flats? In fact, I should have left the screen up, but I didn't. Too bad. Ignore F major. What did B flat major need? B flat and E flat. Cool. Yeah, B flat and E flat. Cool. What did E flat major need? B flat, E flat and A flat. Okay. What did A flat major need? E flat, A flat, A flat major and D flat. Yeah. Are you noticing a pattern emerge?
Yes.
It's always one more.
Yeah.
Ah, so what I'm saying here is for flat scales, go this direction and add 1. Now we'll get out of the way of the screen for a minute so this can, it's not very clear on the video. Oh well, we'll do our best. So what I'm saying is for flat scales, all you need to do is start at the right hand side, work your way through the order of flats until you get to the name of the scale you're trying to work out, and then add 1 more. The only scale that doesn't work for is F major. So we've learned a little rhyme for that, haven't we? And we're saying, oh, if there's a bee and it lands on my leg, what will I say? I'll say, oh, fudge. Fudge, of course. Oh, fudge. There is a bee on my leg. Let's make that bee flat. In other words, we relate F for fudge, with the bee on my leg. I don't want it to sting me. The bee will become flat. It's oh, fudge, of course. So, beyond that, all the flat keys work in that manner. Cool?
Yes.
Now, there's just one little problem is we need to work out is which scales are sharp keys, which ones are flat keys. Have a look at your page number 20 again. Have a look at all the flat keys. What do they all have in common bar 1? Have a look at the flat keys. Bottom of page 20. So we're talking about just the bottom here. On this, yeah. So have a look at that. On the flat side, the C major isn't really a flat key. They've just put it there to show you the pattern. Other than F major, what do the rest all have? Flats in there? In the names. Got it. Yes. So So, simple rule is all flat keys have flat in their name, except which one? C major is not a flat scale because it doesn't have a flat note. They just had it in the page to show you the pattern of fifths going down. All flat keys have flat in their names except for F major. Everything else is a sharp key.
So
Everything else is a sharp key. Cool. That's the delivery of the lesson for today. I won't video for any longer, but just to say hi to all the people at home. I hope you're doing well in whatever you're doing today.
Sleeping.
For the rest of the, hopefully not sleeping. No, that was Nia, by the way. If you're going to shout out and you're not in the screen, I'm going to dob you in. No, what we'll do in class now is we're actually going to grab out some keyboards and play through each of these scale types. If you don't have a keyboard at home, I will pop a link up for an online keyboard that you can use. In fact, I don't need to pop it up. It's in the tools of musictheory.net, which you all know. There's an online keyboard there that you can come having up playing these with the mouse on your piano on the keyboard of your computer. And also there will be a new set of musictheory.net exercises added to the ongoing homework tasks that you'll be expected to complete from now on, which we'll also have a look at in class. But I'm not going to video that at this stage because that'll make the video too long. But for those of you at home, have a good day. Please work through this task by going to the musictheory.net link and doing the key signature exercises once they're available a little later in the day. Farewell from Hume. We'll say bye, class.
Bye.
Have a good one.